Good morning, grade 4. Welcome back to grade 4 mathematics class. How are you all doing today? So today, let's learn more about bar graphs. In the previous class itself, we have seen an introduction to bar graphs. So let's have a revision on that. Now, what is a bar graph? A bar graph is a chart that uses vertical or horizontal bars or strips to represent some kind of data. See that again? A bar graph is a chart that uses vertical or horizontal bars or strips to represent data, and we have seen it has a horizontal line, a vertical line and a scale. And here is a vertical bar graph or bar diagram. The horizontal line in this case will represent the category of data items, and the vertical line here will represent the value or the number of data items, and the scale will tell you the range of values that you are choosing depending upon the number or the value of data items. Now, in the case of horizontal bar graph, the horizontal line will represent the number or value of the data items, whereas the vertical line will represent the category of data items. Now, the scale in a bar graph or bar diagram is similar to the key used in a pictograph. It will tell you the range or the number of or value of each data item. Now, there are a few things that you have to keep in mind while drawing bar graphs. So, when you draw a bar graph, all bars should be of the same width. You have to make sure that all bars are of the same width and are evenly spaced. Now, here is an example from your textbook itself. Here, you can see all the bars or strips used in this vertical bar graph are of the same width. They are of the same width and they are also evenly spaced. The space between them is even or equal. And then you have to label what each bar represents and you have to color the bars differently. So for each bar, you should put a label to represent the category of data item. So here in this example, you can see the first strip or the first bar has got a label written down below it, and the label here is pink. The other labels are blue, purple and yellow. And also each bar is colored differently. Now, the third thing that you have to keep in mind is that the length of the bar equals the number of data items. So here you can see the different bars are of different lengths. So the difference in the length will correspond to the difference in the values or difference in the number of data items. So for example, here this bar graph is about the favorite color of a number of students in a class. So the first strip with the label pink, it is the favorite color of how many students? 60 students. So 60 students' favorite color is pink. And what about the next one? So this is the strip for the color blue, and blue is the favorite color of how many students? See, here the bar graph has a length or height which ends between the values 40 and 50. It is in the middle where it ends, which means it corresponds to a value of 45. It is between 40 and 50 and the values are increasing upwards. So here in the middle of 40 and 50 you will have 45. So here blue is liked by, or blue is the favorite color of 45 students in the class. Now the third one, purple. Purple is the favorite color of how many students? The height ends between 50 and 60 and the values are going or increasing upwards. So the color purple is the favorite color of 55 students in the class. Now yellow is the favorite color of 50 students in the class. So now we have seen what a bar graph is and how do we read data from a bar graph and what are the things to be taken care of while drawing a bar graph. Now we'll talk about a few advantages of a bar graph. So in a bar graph, a lot of information is represented within the same simple chart. So it is easy to draw, easy to read, easy to understand and easy to compare a lot of data at the same time. One disadvantage is that when there is an updation of the data, it will be difficult to represent that with the same bar graph. Now, here is an example from your textbook. So let me read the question to you. The given bar graph represents marks scored by Sujitra in an examination. Answer the following questions. So what you see here is the marks or the scores that Sujitra got for each subject in a class test. So these are the subjects on the horizontal line. So English, Hindi, Maths, Science, EVS. These are the labels Now on the vertical line, you have the value or the marks obtained in each of the subjects. So the marks are given on a scale of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and so on. Now let's have a look at the questions. In which subjects has she scored the maximum and minimum marks? So what is the score that she got in each of the subject? In English, she scored 65 marks. The strip ends between 60 and 70. So the score is 65. In Hindi, she scored 60. In math, she scored 80. In science, she scored 70. And in EVS, she scored 55. So in which subjects has she scored the maximum and minimum marks? So which is the subject that she scored the maximum? She scored the maximum marks in maths. And what about the minimum marks? She scored the minimum in EVS. So she has scored the maximum and minimum marks in maths and EVS respectively. Now the next one, what is the difference in her marks in English and science? So what is her score in English? In English, she scored 65 marks. And what about science? In science, she scored 70 marks. So what is the difference between her marks in English and science? So that is a difference of 75 minus 65, which is equal to 5. So the difference in her marks in English and science is 5. 70 for science and 65 for English. Now, the next one. How much did she score in Hindi? See, from the bar graph, let's find out her marks in Hindi. In Hindi, she scored 60 marks. So, she got 60 marks in Hindi. So, children, I hope now you're clear with the concept of what a bar graph is. And we have seen how to read data from a bar graph and what are the things to be taken care of while drawing a bar graph and a few advantages of bar graph. Now, you may go through all these concepts once again in pages 176 and 177 of your textbook. Then move on to exercise 13.1. Complete that exercise. There are 2 bar graphs given there and a few questions based on these. Now, below the exercise, you can see a life skill question under the heading LS. Please go through that as well and do accordingly. So that's all for today, children. We'll see you in the next class with a new topic. Till then, bye.